What is up, and welcome to Real Advice in Relationships. I'm your host, Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the podcast. As you're enjoying today's episodes, please rate this podcast, share this podcast, but most of all, download the podcast episodes. So sit back, turn up that dial, and enjoy this Southern girl share some real advice in relationships. Hey guys, what is up? This is your girl Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I am back today to do another podcast episode. I hope that this finds you well whenever you're listening to it, wherever you're listening to it. I hope that this finds you well. I want to say thank you for joining me today on this Black History Month. I think it's my second episode in Black History Month. So happy Black History Month if you celebrate Black History Month. On today, keeping up with our Black History Month theme, we're going to kind of dive into a little bit of some stigmas or some truths or whatever you want to look at. It might be stigma and it may be a truth for some, maybe a truth for many. But we're going to talk about on today, why are Black women so angry? Okay. Why are Black women so angry? And if you know anything about me, Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, you know that I wrote a book titled I'm Enough. And I'm Enough was my journey of learning how to validate myself and learning how to value myself and love myself and affirm myself without the presence of a father. And statistically, many Black people are, I want to say 75% of Black children are born in out of wedlock situations, okay? To out of wedlock homes, meaning the mother and father, they may even be together, they may even live together, but they are not married, okay? And so when I say why Black women are so angry, I brought my story up for a reason, because for years I was angry because I had grown up not thinking that I was good enough, not thinking that I was worthy enough, because I wasn't good enough for my father to stay and be a present and a constant beacon in my life, right? So I kind of look for love. No. Let me switch that around, working on my wording. I look for love in the wrong places. And you have many Black women who do the same. They look for love, and they look for love in all the wrong places. They look for love in all the wrong things. And I think that Black women feel as if they have been abandoned. They feel abandoned, and we feel rejected. We feel like we're not valued. We feel like we are not loved. We feel as if we are not recognized, okay? So that's one. I wrote several reasons down, but that's the first reason why Black women feel angry. They feel abandoned and they feel alone, right? And the second reason why Black women feel so angry is because they feel overwhelmed, okay? And the reason why Black women feel overwhelmed is because Black women we have to wear so many hats, right? You have Black women wearing a lot of different hats. They're filling a lot of different roles that they didn't sign up for, but guess what? It has to be done. They have to be, fulfill the role of the mother. They have to be daughters. They have to be caregivers for parents and children. They're full-time workers and they're heads of households. So Black women feel overwhelmed, right? Nobody signs up to take on life, take on children, take on a family, and do it alone. And you see so many households that are being headed by women, right? And so Black women having to run households and having to do a lot of these things, take on these responsibilities on their own, they feel not only alone, but they feel overwhelmed. This is a lot to take on, right? And have that sense of being overwhelmed, and then you have that sense of abandonment, and you have this whole entire family looking to you to run it and to be strong. Black women have to be strong for their kids. They have to be strong for themselves. They got to hold it in a row, especially if they taking care of parents. They have to hold it in a row because they have financial obligations. They have so many responsibilities, and they feel overwhelmed. And nobody wants to carry that weight over their shoulders, right? They don't want to carry that alone because we were not designed to do life alone. So when you have these situations that I just talked about, and you're doing this all on your own, you feel overwhelmed. Like you want a break. You want some help, and you don't want to have to beg for help because initially you didn't create this family by yourself, right? So that is why fathers are so important. And that is why the role of men are so important within the Black homes and within the Black households. Because oftentimes when you are the girl, when you are the woman that is looking for love in all the wrong places, we oftentimes create lifetime situations based off of a temporary fix. Now, we didn't know dude was going to be temporary. We didn't know the situation was going to be temporary up front. We just was looking for love in all the wrong places. He told us something we wanted to hear, and off we went and off we go. And that cycle continuously repeats itself for some people. They find themselves, it's a cycle, right? It creates a cycle of looking for love in all the wrong places. That is why it is so important for our fathers to be in our lives. Another reason why Black women are angry is because not only is the community in shambles, but you have households that are off course, right? That dynamic of the man being there and not being present is felt, okay? It creates not only a sense of anger for the woman, but your children. The children feel that energy. The children know what that mother is feeling. So it's important that when you have those responsibilities, self-care is not only needed because we in the middle of a global pandemic, but self-care is needed just to stay afloat, just to be able to run the household, okay? Because the house is in shambles when a good man, a good provider is not present, because sometimes you can have a man there and then it's just total chaos. It just depends on if it's a toxic relationship or if it's of significant value, okay? If it's of any significance, right? In hindsight of the point that I just made, when a man is not present, the protector is not there to protect the home. Okay, this is where the woman have to play. She got to play both roles. She have to fill the shoes. No, the woman will never be a man, but she has to fill the role of being the protector. She has to be the provider. She has to be the nurturer. She may be a little bit more rough around the edges. She might be a little bit more aggressive, right? And that aggressiveness may translate as manipulative. It may be somebody who is boisterous or outspoken, or they may even project the attitude of, I don't need you, simply because they have been having to be the person at the helm of the ship this entire time, right? So a lot of women may give off that aura as, or they may even flat out tell you, look, I really don't need you. Like, I don't need you. Okay. So some women will flat out tell a dude, like, I don't need you, because they are used to running a household. They're used to managing the family. They're used to managing the home. They're used to picking up the kids. They're used to going to work. They're used to financially taking care of, the responsibilities that come with raising a family and managing the home. Like, so it's kind of hard to come into that situation, and a man is just expected to be able, okay, well, I have a man now, he can be the head of the household. Gender roles, like, they really just, it's, you know what, I don't even want to get into that. Traditional gender roles, I don't even want to get into that, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. My primary reason that I think Black women are angry is because we have a life of regret. We have a life of regret, y'all. When we think about regret, and when we think about what our life could have been prior to looking for love in all the wrong places, prior to being called or labeled or walking in the shoes of an angry Black woman, we think about those opportunities that we missed out on. We think about things that we could have done differently. We think about where there were no opportunities, we could have created some, right? We think about if we had our dad in our life or a father in our life to lead us and guide us in the right direction, or to prevent us from, or to warn or caution us, or even protect us from certain type of friends, certain type of dudes, certain type of guys. We would have even been close to the situation that many of us have experienced or either are in at this moment. So when you talk about life regrets, you're talking about those types of things, the opportunities that we missed, the opportunities that we could have created. And we are also talking about the relationship that we missed out on with our fathers that could have prevented the whole entire situation that we are currently in, or it could have definitely changed the trajectory of the paths that we end up going down at some point in our journey. When we talk about regret, we're talking about regret. Things that we wish were different, things that we wish we could go back and change, but things that we can only live with and learn from, okay? And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why Black women are so angry. And we, people make fun of us because it's like, the angry Black woman. Black women are angry because they have to hold up things that they were not designed by God or by nature to hold up. Black women are angry because they want some help. They want some relief. They want a partner that's going to be consistent. They want a partner that's going to be present. Black women are angry because they want somebody who want them for them and not just want them for something that they can get out of them. Meaning they want to be in a relationship and they not the meal ticket. You got a lot of women too that they okay with, I take care of him and I do this and I do that. We ain't talking to that little small segment of the Black community. We ain't talking about that ratchet gutter stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Black women with standards, with class, with grace, that have they self together. Okay. It would be nice to have a co-partner who comes in not necessarily to be our knight in shining armor, but somebody who comes in with something to offer other than good sex and hard times. Like, when I say that's so old, that crap is old. Like, that's really, that's for real old. Good sex and hard times, that's real old. But anyway, my voice changing a whole octave. Y'all can tell I feel some type of way about that, can't it? But anyway, I just feel like, that's the main reason why so many women are angry, particularly black women, because it's like what you envision for your life is not struggle. What you envision for your life is not raising your children alone. What you envision for your life was a happily ever after. You wasn't envisioning, living from check to check or struggling, or maybe you got a little cushion or what have you. You envision raising your children and doing so with a mate. You didn't want to do this alone or by yourself. Like, you can and you do it because you have to, but nobody signs up to do this because they want to do it. 9 times out of 10. Okay? In closing, my real advice in relationships for today: get you some help. Take care of you. Self-care ain't just getting yourself pampered, getting your nails done, getting your eyebrows done, getting your hair done, and this, that, and the third. Okay? That's good, and it's good for your confidence. It help you feel good. But in a few weeks, after a while, that hairdo gonna get a little raggedy. Them eyelashes gonna need to be replaced. The eyebrows that you got arched, they gonna start to grow back in. The little chin hair and the lip hair that you got waxed, that's gonna grow back in, and your nails gonna need to fill in. So it's like you might get in that cycle of okay, I'm busy, and you might let yourself go a little bit. Okay, so those things are only temporary. It requires upkeep, but I would suggest to you, my real advice in relationships is that you must learn to forgive. I didn't say you have to go along with your day as if you have never been through anything. That's not what I'm talking about. And you should trot and stroll freely through your life and not let your past bound you. But the primary thing that you must learn to do is forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for the things that you did, things that you didn't do. You have to learn to forgive yourself from the learned behavior. You have to learn to forgive yourself for the self-loathing, for the negative self-talk, all the times that you told yourself that you're not beautiful, you're ugly, you're stupid. Whatever you've told yourself, you have to forgive yourself. That's the first thing. Okay, because a lot of times we learn how to treat ourselves from the environment that we were raised in. So next, you have to forgive your parents. You have to forgive those who were your guardians, your mama, your daddy, your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle, your foster parents, whoever raised you. You have to learn to forgive them, because one thing about it, people give you what they got, and a lot of people ain't got nothing but pain, heartache, pain, and toxicity to give. And unfortunately, they pass that down like a family heirloom, as if that is something to be valued, because they don't know nothing no different. They don't know no better. And I talk about that in my book, I'm Enough. But learn to forgive those around you, okay, who may have influenced you to see yourself negatively or feel negatively about yourself, that led you to make wrong choices and to look for love in all the wrong places. So learn to forgive. And if you don't know how to forgive, this is my next point. Therapy. Therapy is good. Now, therapy does not do the spiritual work that I necessarily like, but there are some therapists that do take you on that journey or help guide you through that journey to go deep within yourself. But they don't go deep. You have to do that level of work. But therapy is good. Therapy is great. Ain't nothing wrong with journaling. If you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody, start journaling. Self-care goes beyond just physically looking good. You have to do the internal work. You have to do the work, because one thing about it, when you start doing the internal work and you start pulling back the layers of that onion, when you start digging for gold, you hit something. You when you get that shovel and you get to digging out all of those life regrets, when you start pulling up that root and that weed of I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, when you start pulling back that weed of why you promiscuous or why you fall for each guy that give you a compliment, when you start pulling back the layers, when you start pulling that stuff up, when you digging down deep inside and realize something, you hit something. And what you hit is you discover something of value. You hit your diamond, you hit that inner core, you hit something. That's your discovery. That's your epiphany. You realize that you are good enough. You realize that you are valuable. You realize that you are worthy of love. Despite your father not being in your life, you still are worthy. You are beautiful. You are pretty. You are smart. You are all of those amazing and awesome things that you never heard coming from your father. You are those things, and you don't have to be angry anymore. So get you some help, okay? My second suggestion would be teach your children, because it's about not hiding in your mistakes, not hiding in your shame. Many people find themselves already in this situation, and that is okay. It's okay. Teach your children from your own mistakes. But you can't teach them out of bitterness. You can't teach them out of hurt and pain and anger and rage. You can't teach them that way. You have to get the help you need and go on your healing journey and teach your children to make better choices. It's no need of hiding behind the shame. It's all kind of teaching tools and learning lessons and valuable things to come from the choices that you made in your life. It's not always shame and regret. There are a lot of valuable gems and a lot of lessons that can be learned from the decisions that you made. Okay? It's not always something that you can bound yourself and beat yourself down with. At any rate, I hope that today's message brought you some type of hope. I hope that it brought you some value and some worth on today's episode of Real Advice in Relationship. I hope all is well. Thanks again for joining me on Real Advice in Relationships. And until we talk again, it's your girl Keisha signing off. Peace, y'all. Bye. Hey guys, be sure to go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. That's klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. There you can find links to all of my social media platforms, shirts, books, and did I mention I offer free ebooks? Yes, when you go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough, click on the ebooks link and it will take you directly to the free ebooks that I offer. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye.